I drove 6,000 miles across the U.S. checking out the vibe of cities by the facial expressions people gave me while I played music on the streets.
Well, welcome, David.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man.
Yeah.
I'm so glad this is the first one. I'm hoping to do this a lot more with other people from the Birmingham area, just to highlight what folks are doing with their YouTube channels. And I know you've got quite a few videos up. Well, tell folks what your channel, the primary focus of your channel is, and a little bit about what's there.
Yeah, so I'm a folk singer, so it's based on my music, but I'm also a psychologist by academic training and just generally interested in people. So I put my music on there, I write new songs, and I also like talking about human psychology and how that relates to music. And, you know, through the process of doing music, I've learned, or I've been able to look at how people are affected by the sort of emotion of the music and reading a room and the crowd. So these are all topics that fascinate me and that I'd like to have a platform to talk about.
What's been the most interesting reaction you've gotten, or the biggest reaction you've gotten to a video?
I think so. I've been posting these, I call it the 2019 Busking experiment, which is street performing. And so I had a month off between jobs, and I just wanted to understand the vibe of U.S. cities. So I wanted to understand which cities might I want to move to one day or tour in. But I went to Branson, Missouri, which is very interesting.
Yes, I've been there.
You go in and there's all these Dolly Parton billboards.
Yeah. Well, you find out that there's a lot of people you thought were dead who aren't.
Oh, yeah.
They have theaters, and they're in Branson.
They're all there, yeah. But I went on this, exploring a city when you're street performing is a totally different way of viewing the city. And that's one of the things that fascinates me about it, is that you see the sidewalks as like, is there space for me? You see the people as like, how would they react when I'm playing music? It's totally different than if you're like a tourist or, you know, someone on a date or something like that, where the way you process things is totally different. So I found where I wanted to be, and I just turned my amp all the way up. This was a Monday at like 9 p.m. because I was just like, I can get as loud as I want. Like, what the hell? Because I felt like there wasn't a lot of like interesting culture. Like, it's a tourist place, but it wasn't super interesting. So I was like, let's make it interesting. So I did that, and then I posted my YouTube video, and then on this series, because it's so powerful nowadays, you can do an ad on Facebook. I've been doing ads for each location that I post and targeting that specific city. And that's a whole nother way that I gauge how much that city might like me or how much I like it, is also the social media reaction. You know, since I've been doing this, the first time I did it, I was super nervous. I was like, is everybody gonna say how terrible I am and, you know, talk trash? But when I did this for Branson, that was like the only time that this happened. It was like 2 people. But there's a problem because the tourists are coming in, and these people who are originally there and they developed their community are basically being pushed out. So they were like, hey, you're part of the problem, you suck at music and all this. And, you know, I didn't take it personally, I just saw it as well.
Now, when you say the people that felt like they were being pushed out, of these local musicians or just the local townie?
Yeah, local town people, yeah.
I was going to say, Branson, Missouri is a tourist town. That's what they're all about.
Yeah, and they're really...
They don't want people coming from outside.
Yeah, I think that they're a little upset about it. So
I was going to say, it's been touristy for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of cities are kind of like that. So that one was interesting in terms of actually getting that pushback. But, you know, it's pretty small, my YouTube channel. I'm still trying to grow it. But they'll just say like, hey, like next time, let me know when you're coming through. We should jam together, or they'll recommend where to street perform. That's a whole other thing I'm interested in.
Getting another, like a little subculture of other street performers commenting.
And I that was one of the intentions of the whole thing, is that, you know, people need to figure out where to go and what it's like. And so YouTube can provide an underground sort of communication for what the situation is. And there's videos on there, but they're mostly just like videos of people doing it. It's not really videos of people like talking about their experience and
Yeah, because I noticed you do it in a lot of yours. You have a little moment in the car where you're kind of reflecting either on what you're about to do or what just happened in and amongst your actual performing.
Yeah, mostly it's reflection, and I'll always insert a little bit of my own music in there, because that's also a part of it is for exposure for myself. But I also want to provide information about what the vibe of the city is for potential street performers. And
that's cool.
Yeah, I just think interacting with people in real life is super important, and we sort of underestimate the power that has.